today in the Chris Watts murder case. His hours-long interrogation, the interview with his mistress, and new tonight at 10, Chris Watts on video failing a polygraph test.
Well, Denver 7's Jackie Cray is here now. She's been combing through some of this new video, and it is pretty disturbing, Jackie.
It is. Included in that new batch of video is body camera video from investigators as they searched Chris Watts' home for evidence. At the same time, Watts plays to our cameras on his front porch, pleading for Shanann, Celeste, and Bella's safe return.
Hi, are you Chris?
Chris, yes.
Chris, Officer Wines with the Frederick Police Department.
This is our first glimpse into the crime scene through the eyes of investigators.
Purse is still there. The phone's on the couch. Like her wedding ring sitting on the nightstand. And it's like there's like no sign of Bella, Celeste, or anywhere.
During a 6-hour interrogation, Chris Watts joked, even laughed while answering morbid questions from detectives.
What are ways that you can make someone disappear?
I mean, like, if you talk about like what I've seen like on the movies, or like how people, if you read about other people, I mean, you hire somebody.
Like a hitman?
Yeah, I mean, I had nothing to do with what's going on right now. I did not physically harm her.
He claimed his wife and their children vanished and tried to keep the lies going during a polygraph test.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
If we do end up finding your wife and your 2 girls murdered, what do you think should happen to that person that would have done that?
The worst possible thing.
Like what?
I mean, it's either going to be like life in prison or the death penalty, isn't it? And that's the only 2 things you really can do.
The 33-year-old never confesses to killing all 3, instead creates a lie about Shanann murdering the girls. But prosecutors say his motive was a fresh start. He'd already begun an affair with a co-worker, Nicole Kessinger.
It wasn't, hey, we should get married, and hey, we should have babies, and hey, I want to live with you, and hey, I need to meet your children now, and let's cut the mom out. It was never like that.
Watts kept photos of her hidden in a secret app on his phone. Kessinger says Watts lied to her, too.
You found out that his...
Watts will learn his fate for killing his pregnant wife and 2 daughters. Shanann, who is from...
The house on Saratoga Trail looked ordinary in the early morning light, but inside, something had already gone terribly wrong. A front door that should have opened to laughter and routine opened instead to absence. Beds were stripped, a purse was left behind, and silence settled into the walls like a warning. Within hours, the search for a missing pregnant woman and her 2 small daughters would unravel into one of the most chilling family annihilation cases in modern American history. This was not a crime of passion caught in a single moment. It was a slow collapse, hidden behind smiles, routine texts, and the illusion of a perfect suburban life. Shanann Watts was pregnant, full of plans, and fiercely devoted to her children. Bella and Celeste were young, joyful, and deeply attached to their mother. From the outside, their lives appeared documented in happiness, shared in photos and videos that suggested stability and love. Chris Watts stood beside them in those images, quiet and unassuming, a man few suspected capable of violence. Yet beneath the surface, something had shifted. Financial pressure, emotional distance, and a growing double life had begun to hollow out the marriage. What followed would expose how ordinary appearances can mask extraordinary danger. As investigators closed in, the truth emerged in fragments, each more disturbing than the last. The disappearance was not an accident. It was a deliberate erasure. Evidence pointed inward, not outward, and the man who stood at press conferences pleading for answers was already carrying the weight of what he had done.
Right now around your house?
Right now it's got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened? Your wife came out and tell me what's...
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say, but she never got back to me. But she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well, and that's what really concerned a lot of people. Is like, if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine. Like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house, and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nope, nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann, Shanann.
What's your kids?
Bella and Celeste.
How do you spell Celeste?
Celeste.
How old are your daughters?
4, and Bella's 4, Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times, just to say, you know, what's going on. Like because after I called her and texted her once, it's like maybe she was just busy. Like she had just gotten back, you know, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered like, all right, this isn't right.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe. Right.
The case would move quickly, driven by digital footprints, forensic certainty, and a confession that confirmed the unimaginable. Before we go deeper into how this tragedy unfolded and why justice would ultimately take the form of life imprisonment, take a moment to support this channel. If you value careful, fact-based true crime storytelling that honors victims and confronts uncomfortable truths, please like this video, subscribe to Shadow of Deceit, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. Long before the crime, the Watts family story appeared ordinary, even aspirational. Shanann was driven, outspoken, and deeply invested in building a life that felt meaningful. She documented milestones with pride, celebrated her children loudly, and worked tirelessly to create stability, even as financial strain quietly pressed in from all sides. Pregnancy had brought renewed hope. A new baby meant a fresh chapter, a chance to reset what stress and distance had begun to erode. Bella and Celeste were the emotional center of that home. They were young, affectionate, and closely bonded to their mother. Their routines were structured around care, school, bedtime rituals, and the simple safety children expect without question. To them, home was predictable. Their father was present, if reserved, a figure who blended into the background of daily life without drawing attention to himself. Chris Watts was often described as quiet, compliant, and dependable. He worked consistently, avoided confrontation, and rarely asserted himself. To neighbors and co-workers, he seemed unremarkable in a way that felt reassuring. But emotional absence can hide behind politeness. As Shanann's personality filled space, Chris withdrew further inward. Over time, the marriage shifted from partnership to distance, then to quiet resentment. Behind closed doors, finances were tight, arguments grew more frequent, and emotional connection weakened. Chris began living 2 separate realities. One was the visible role of husband and father. The other was private, fueled by secrecy, fantasy, and the belief that escape was possible without consequence. What appeared to be passivity was slowly hardening into something far more dangerous. This chapter matters because violence rarely appears without warning. It grows in silence, in avoidance, in the refusal to confront responsibility.
Let me just get some booking stuff out of the way. Is it Frank? That's your legal name?
Legal name is Franklin.
Franklin? You go by Frank, though?
Yes.
And how do you spell your last name, sir?
R-Z-U-C-E-K.
I knew I wouldn't get that one right. What's the date of birth for you? And best phone number to get up? Okay. So I'll just start off with anything that you think you want or needed to tell us. Someone said maybe earlier that you had some information you want to pass on or something. No?
About?
I don't know. And there might have been miscommunication, but I thought somebody said you had something that you wanted to pass on to us. Is that not right?
Okay. My mind's just...
No, I understand.
The text, that's all I was talking about earlier, but that was it.
Okay. And was that the Facebook request?
Yeah, they sent a request, and it just Probably my wife hasn't called me screaming because I know she probably got one too.
Right. Okay. So what can you tell me about Shanann and Chris and their relationship?
He was a great father.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't ask for a better father for him, for the kids. I mean, honestly, he did everything for them. Played with them, bathed them. I couldn't ask for someone better.
Okay.
Husband-wise, same way. Never seen any kind of problems with him. I was out here prior to the 6 weeks she was here. I don't know the exact date before they both went on the vacation with her Thrive company, and watched the kids. There was a little bit of difference in him, but I just took it as being a father. I mean, he was getting a little sterner with the girls. I mean, it was nothing, he was always the quiet type with them. But he started getting a little sterner with them, and I just took it as being a father. Now he's getting a little bit tired of what they're doing, running them all over, so he's just getting stern with them. Never hit him that I know of. So it's hard. There's different things that was going on. I mean, he did change his, they were going through this new Thrive stuff, or she was selling, and he started getting himself all built up and lost a lot of weight. But he was always a body type person, always took care of his body and all that. So they did come out. Janet came out for 6 weeks with the girls. They were going back and forth from our house to his house, his mother's house.
Okay.
And the little Celeste had allergies to nuts, tree nuts. Very allergic to them, very allergic to them. She had 2 EpiPens she had to carry with her. So she told us all, get rid of anything that's got nuts or any, just get it up high enough. Don't gotta throw it away, just get it out, no problem. My wife cleaned the whole house out. I mean, I had to go looking for stuff. She took underneath every cabinet. So she told Chris's parents the same thing. They did.
The foundations of this crime were laid long before that final night, buried beneath routine and denial. If you're finding value in this deep, careful breakdown, take a moment to support Shadow of Deceit. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you stay with us as the truth continues to unfold. As the months passed, the warning signs became harder to ignore, though they remained invisible to most people looking in from the outside. Chris's behavior began to subtly change. He became distant in ways that couldn't be explained by stress alone. His affection cooled. His patience shortened. The man who once moved through his home like a shadow now seemed emotionally detached, as if he were already gone. Shanann sensed the shift. She spoke openly about feeling abandoned, about trying to save a marriage that felt like it was slipping through her fingers. Messages to friends reflected confusion and fear, a growing awareness that something was wrong but no clear understanding of how serious it was. She believed the distance could be repaired. She believed honesty would bring him back. Instead, secrecy took root. Chris began guarding his phone. His routines changed. Late nights, sudden gym sessions, unexplained absences became part of his new normal. His attention moved elsewhere, feeding an inner world where responsibility no longer existed. To him, conflict wasn't something to confront. It was something to erase. Financial strain amplified the tension. Debt mounted quietly, adding pressure to a household already struggling emotionally. Rather than address it, Chris retreated further. Avoidance became his coping mechanism. Each unresolved problem layered resentment on top of resentment, until empathy disappeared entirely. The most dangerous red flag wasn't anger. It was indifference. The absence of emotional response. The way he spoke about his family as obstacles instead of people. This emotional detachment allowed him to imagine a future without consequences, without the weight of fatherhood or marriage. In his mind, removing the problem felt easier than facing it. These patterns are often overlooked because they don't look like violence. They look like withdrawal, silence, compliance. But beneath that calm exterior, something was breaking. The warning signs weren't loud. They were quiet, steady, and ignored. And by the time anyone realized what they truly meant, it was already too late.
Today in the Chris Watts murder case, his hours-long interrogation, the interview with his mistress, and new tonight at 10, Chris Watts on video failing a polygraph test.
Well, Denver 7's Jackie Cray is here now. She's been combing through some of this new video, and it is pretty disturbing, Jackie.
It is. Included in that new batch of video is body camera video from investigators as they searched Chris Watts' home for evidence. At the same time, Watts plays to our cameras on his front porch, pleading for Shanann, Celeste, and Bella's safe return.
Hi, are you Chris?
Chris, yes.
Chris, Officer Wines with the Frederick Police Department.
This is our first glimpse into the crime scene through the eyes of investigators.
Purse is still there. The phone's on the couch. Like her wedding ring sitting on the nightstand. And it's like there's like no sign of Bella, Celeste, or anywhere.
During a 6-hour interrogation, Chris Watts joked, even laughed while answering morbid questions from detectives.
What are ways that you can make someone disappear?
I mean, like, if you're talking about like what I've seen like on the movies, or like how people, if you read about other people, I mean, you hire somebody.
Like a hitman?
Yeah, I mean, I had nothing to do with what's going on right now. I did not physically harm her.
He claimed his wife and their children vanished and tried to keep the lies going during a polygraph test.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
If we do end up finding your wife and your 2 girls murdered, what do you think should happen to that person that would have done that?
The worst possible thing.
Like what?
I mean, it's either going to be like life in prison or the death penalty, isn't it? And that's the only 2 things you really can do.
The 33-year-old never confesses to killing all 3, instead creates a lie about Shanann murdering the girls. But prosecutors say his motive was a fresh start. He'd already begun an affair with a co-worker, Nicole Kessinger.
It wasn't, hey, we should get married, and hey, we should have babies, and hey, I want to live with you, and hey, I need to meet your children now, and let's cut the mom out. It was never like that.
Watts kept photos of her hidden in a secret app on his phone. Kessinger says Watts lied to her, too.
You found out that his...
In the early hours before dawn, while the world slept unaware, the crime unfolded in a house that still smelled of family life. The walls held photos of birthdays, milestones, ordinary happiness. Inside that quiet space, the final boundary was crossed. What happened next would forever redefine the meaning of betrayal. The crime did not erupt in chaos. There were no raised voices, no neighbors alerted, no sudden alarm. It happened in silence. That silence is what makes it so chilling. Investigators later confirmed that the attack occurred while Shanann was vulnerable, exhausted from travel, her body already strained by pregnancy. The timing was deliberate. The control absolute. The evidence revealed a calculated act, not an impulsive explosion. Medical findings showed no signs of a struggle powerful enough to save her life. This wasn't a momentary loss of control. It was a decision carried through to its irreversible end. The unborn child she carried, a life not yet named, was lost with her. What followed only deepened the horror. The children, still alive after their mother was killed, became witnesses to the unthinkable. Their final moments were marked by confusion, fear, and a trust that would be tragically exploited. Investigators would later confirm that each child was killed separately, methodically, during a drive that stretched on in unbearable silence. The location chosen was not random. It was familiar. Isolated. A place tied to routine and work, transformed into a burial ground. Their small bodies were hidden where they would be hardest to find, treated not as human beings but as obstacles to be concealed. This was not a crime of passion. It was a crime of erasure. A deliberate attempt to delete an entire family in pursuit of a clean slate. And when the sun rose that morning, Chris Watts returned home alone, stepping back into a world that would soon collapse around him. The crime was complete. But the reckoning had only just begun. The final chapter of this story does not end at the crime scene, or even in the courtroom where justice was formally delivered. It lingers in the silence left behind, in the empty bedrooms, in the voices that will never grow older. Chris Watts was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, a punishment that ensured he would never again walk freely among the world he shattered. The sentence was swift, decisive, and final, but no ruling could restore what was taken. If this story moved you, challenged you, or made you think, support the channel by liking this video, sharing it with others, and subscribing to Shadow of Deceit for more in-depth true crime documentaries. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. Your engagement helps keep these voices heard, and these truths remembered.
Watts will learn his fate for killing his pregnant wife and 2 daughters. Shanann, who is from